Morning, Frank. Nice to see you. Just have a bit of a roll call first of all, if you wouldn't mind. You were saying recently Ben Sheaf might be involved in the Oxford game. What's the situation with him first of all?
Ben and Tats are both fit for selection.
Okay, well, that's encouraging news then.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh Eccles and Joel Latibodia.
Josh is actually playing for the 21s today, which is good news to get minutes. So he'll get some minutes and be ready for after the international break, we hope, all being well. And Joel's a bit behind that.
Okay. So back to it then, in the Championship, you part the Millwall game now and moving on to Oxford, I presume.
Yeah, just Millwall, we never want to lose. We made a lot of changes, which is important to do for different reasons, and it's a shame to lose it, but we have to get straight back into the mindset of the league, going into international break. Going to be a very tough match. We felt that at Oxford last season, so it's a challenge again.
I mean, did you learn anything the other night from the players that you did select that perhaps you didn't know before that game?
Yeah, but you always learn in games. So for good, for bad, how we can improve. So that's always the case.
And clearly set pieces. Expect me to raise that, the fact that the two Millwall goals were from set plays, and I know you've scored a lot of goals at the other end of the pitch this season, but that has been identified as perhaps an area that you can improve, do you think?
We can always improve on it, and Millwall are a good, strong set piece team. We made changes which meant a couple of individual errors led to those goals. So I'm not making a big panic about it. We're in a good place. And yeah, we always want to tighten up and everything.
I mean, how satisfying has the start of the season been for you? Just something that...
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy, obviously, because in the league, other than the whole game which we drew, which we probably should have won, but we weren't quite out 100%, which can happen. Since then, I've been happy with performance, with attitude of the players, with feeling around the place. It's just a start, we get through this game, and that's the first tiny block of the season, but yeah, I'm happy with what the players have put in, and but it's always about the next game rather than being happy and relying on things that have happened. But at this point, we're in a good place, but we must stay on guard because we need to be motivated for every single game.
But scoring lots of goals, I mean, that also massively helps, doesn't it? If you can find the net on a regular basis, which obviously you have done in the last couple of years.
Yeah, of course, because It's crucial to win football matches. It's great for feeling, and the feeling it gives you in game when we score early against QPR and we score again. That feeling's great. It won't always be the case, but I believed in the players that we have all around the pitch, to be fair, that can contribute with goals. And at times we didn't enough last year. With probably chances that we were not clinical enough. Last week we showed a good clinical nature. We have to just try to hold on to that.
And that was going to be my next point, really, the fact that the goals have been shared around the team. It's not been one or two players that have been scoring. You've got quite a lot of players on the score sheet, which again helps, doesn't it?
It does, and it's important if you want to have success. You can't just rely on one area of the pitch. We were pretty good at contributing from different areas last year, and it absolutely helps. So it brings good feeling to the group when people are confident in scoring goals across the team. It absolutely helps. So again, let's take that confidence and move it forward.
Last March, beginning of March, when you went to Oxford and towards the tail end of last season, as you touched on, pretty eventful game, wasn't it? 5 goals and a missed penalty as well into the bargain. Yeah.
I guess it's. We have to respect Oxford. I respect Gary Rowett as a good coach, very experienced, difficult, sets his teams up well. They haven't got the results they'll want so far, which makes them an even more dangerous opposition, in my opinion. And we felt in that game that even when you feel like you may have a little bit of control or feel like you're in control of the game, it's not the way there, because they can be quick in transition. They can be direct at times. They want to be direct, and they've got some good players. So it's that's a good marker for us to have in our head how that game went, because we won it, but at one stage it could have gone the other way. So we need to be on point.
And a lot of mental resilience and character shown by the players that day, and that's massively encouraging as well, isn't it? If you're in a similar situation again, that they can pull you out of it?
Well, every situation is different, but this league absolutely demands resilience because it's not simple. It's not simple. A game you feel you have can flip at any point, and you have to keep believing throughout. So, we showed that in that game, but we need to just focus on our performance and our qualities, because if we get that bit right, then I'll trust us in more games than not. So we'll see.
And you're right to say, obviously, they haven't got any points so far this season, but that can't be any part of your thinking going into this.
No, it is, because I think it's a dangerous team who haven't got points, who are determined in their nature, who are difficult to break down. I watched their Brighton game and it was 6-0, but they had opportunities to score and were unfortunate in different moments. So I'm definitely not guided by that, thinking where this team's at. I expect the best version of Oxford trying to get their first points, and so we have to be good.
The clock's ticking towards Monday evening and the transfer window finally closing. What is the latest as we sit here now?
There's no news until there's news, and unfortunately I can't give anything, but I think it'd be disrespectful to anything that may happen. So my focus is on the game, and if something happens, you've got 3 days, you'll find out.
Well, Brandon, as starts of the season go, putting the League Cup game to one side, things pretty much going as well as could be expected, aren't they?
Yeah, as a group, we're so happy with the start that we've had. Of course, the first game was a draw, which we've obviously gone into every game wanting to win, so that there was improvements to be made, but that also goes for every game. Even when the results are like last week, there's still things that we can pick up on and improve. So we're definitely not settled in any way. We want to just keep on building and to get the best results we can.
And the 2 wins that you've had came in very different circumstances. You obviously had to, I know you went ahead twice at Derby, but you had to ultimately come from 3-2 down and win 5-3, and then QPR was a whole different ball game. You scored 7 goals and they pinched one right at the end. So 2 very different types of performances, weren't they? Yeah,
definitely. And I think, as the whole season unfolds, there's so many different types of wins that you need. There's times where you got to grind out it might be a 1-0, not always a 5-3 or whatever, but there's so many different states of a game, and I feel like over the last few years I've been learning that, going from one year to the next. There might have been games in the previous year where you drew, where now a 1-0 or a 2-1, even though it's not as emphatic as a 7-1, it kind of feels the same, because you're like, we might have only got a point out of that game, now we got 3. And that would probably speak more to the first game, the 5-3 with Derby. And then I think you have other games where, you like QPR, you go 1-0, 2-0 quite early, and I think it's a different challenge of being ruthless and of getting the most out of yourself when you're on top, because if you don't maximise on that, it can flip. And I've not experienced too many of those ones, but there is the possibility, and you don't want to leave it to chance. You also you want to maximise on goal difference, which come the end of the season, things can be interesting. So you want to make sure that you take the opportunity.
No, absolutely. And you're getting some regular minutes, which is obviously great now, and scored a couple of goals. That's nice too, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be among the goals, and that's probably the most important thing in my game that I want to maximise on. I set myself targets this season and made sure I wrote them down, which sometimes I keep them mentally, but I thought it's important to write down. I won't be revealing those to you today, but I think as a striker, I think in terms of ratio of goals to games, and also just getting in the right positions is important as well. And I'm grateful to the staff, because we have conversations all the time on different methods, different places to find yourself, and then obviously taking me through the finishing drills and getting the technical aspect as well. And also just grateful to, last year I was sort of trying to play on a bit of injury, and I ended up being out for a little while. So to feel good in my body, I'm really happy with, and I'm grateful that over the off season I could rest and get back to a state I'm happy with.
Good. 2 different types of goals as well. Obviously, you followed in the rebound for the Derby goal, and great finish into the roof of the net for the Queen's Park Rangers goal. So as you say, different types of goals. Your work rate and chasing lost causes or chasing the ball down. That's a big part of your game, isn't it, Brandon?
I mean, look, I want you to keep on talking, building me up here. Let them know. As you say, different types of goals, which I'm really grateful for, because I like it wasn't, I wouldn't call it spectacular, but I like to take a risk sometimes. You've seen in the past, these ones were sort of, both in the box. One was literally on the line, which but they feel the same. Once your name's on the score sheet, whichever way it comes, I'm happy. Yeah. So.
Yeah, Swansea last season, of course, you scored from the halfway line, so you've got a lot of different goals in your locker. Can I ask you about the celebration, tapping your pulse? What's the reason behind that?
Yeah, that probably started off a couple of seasons ago now, and yeah, it's just keeping calm. Blood, they say, ice in his veins. So I thought, I want to keep that one going. I quite enjoyed it, but. One time I saw Diogo Dalot doing it in United, and I weren't best pleased, to be fair, because I was first to it, so he needs to stop that. But hopefully he don't score as many as me, so we'll be all right.
When you're on the pitch, you kind of like see him in a zone. Obviously, your big smile, big personality, effervescence. That's very much part of you. But when you're playing, you seem like more in a zone. Is that fair?
Yeah, I think it's not something that I manufacture or anything. I don't know if it's sort of very natural. I think my mentality is definitely to maximise every game, and I always appreciate the opportunity. You see me I give thanks to God that I can walk out every week, because no day is promised, so every time I step on the pitch, I know it's an opportunity to maximise and to get the goals, get the wins. So I think it's often a case of just being zoned into the job at hand. But I think the players who I appreciate most, and I think Ronaldinho was the person who I watched who got me into football, and he was always smiling on the pitch. And I also, football is my love and it's my passion. So I think maybe over the years that might change. I don't know, but yeah, it's true what you say, because tend to be, quite happy-go-lucky off the pitch. So, but on the pitch, you probably would think I'm a bit of a moody guy. So I might need to change that.
It's just that we used to you smiling, and every time you've scored, it's kind of been, focused, looked like laser focus on the game. That's the only point I'm trying to make. You were very popular at West Brom. Obviously, we know each other from there. With the fans, you feel you're building a similar relationship with the Coventry supporters now? Yeah,
I do feel that. I think it's been something I've been looking forward to, and I probably reflected on it, over time, because I think the state of how I came into both clubs was a little bit different. I kind of previous club sort of scored on my debut in an important game, and probably went straight into the team a lot quicker than when I was here. So I think the opportunity for people to get to know how I play and my personality and stuff, it came quicker in my previous club. And I thought that, I sort of was eager to have the opportunity for the fans to get to know me and stuff. So I think now of playing more regularly, and as the season progressed last season, I just want to play for the fans. And, the Sky Blue Army are incredible. And I couldn't believe in the first game that I ever played at the CBS for Coventry. I was blown away with how strong the support is, and you just wanna get on the side of the fans. So I feel like over time it's really been growing, and I can in personal encounters on the street and everything, it's been so special, and I just want to repay that good feeling that they've put into me. And hopefully give them a lot of goals this season and a lot to smile about. So
that's brilliant to hear. Oxford, let's talk quickly about that if we can. Again, game full of goals down there. If you remember last season, 3-2 to the Sky Blues. Finally, got all 3 points. They've started the season where they haven't got any points, but the gaffer's just said it's a bit of the wounded animal scenario, if you like. You've got to be, again, talking about that laser focus on what you can do and get the 3 points. Yeah,
definitely. I think the Championship, it's a bit of a cliche now, and that anything can happen, anyone can win any given game. And also, as you say, when you sort of see teams where they've not picked up the results sometimes that they'd wished for, their hunger is growing as well, and we're aware of that. So it's nothing to go into as sort of a walk into without thinking. I think we definitely are hungry to continue our form in the league and to maximise on the results, to take our performances and build on what we've been doing. And we know it's not going to be handed to us on a silver platter, so we're definitely hungry to impose ourselves in the game. We know what last year brought, and it wasn't plain sailing, so we'd hope that it is a little bit more this game, but it will take us turning up, starting off on the right foot and battling it out, so we're looking forward to doing that.
And just lastly from me, obviously going into the international break immediately after this game, but obviously it'd be lovely to go into that 2-week hiatus, if you like, the season before it picks up again, being unbeaten in the Championship still, and hopefully with 3 wins out of 4. That's the ultimate aim, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We want to keep that unbeaten run going as long as possible and see what happens. And we know that we've got the ability in the group to take that forward. And we intend to do that. It's an incentive to protect what we've been building, and also to be hungry to go forth. So we would love if we can go into the break, being unbeaten in the league, and we believe we can do that. And as we say, we're all hungry too. So we want to make it happen.
Brilliant, Brandon. As always, thank you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.